Good morning, everyone, from Lola, Montana, Dunrovin Ranch. What a beautiful sunny interlude to a week of rain. It's delightful. Yep. And I am really excited to get this horsing around session going. You know, because of the pandemic, the ranch is closed, but that doesn't mean our horses don't need a little intermediate training. And luckily, I have some volunteers who are going to be helping me. On my right is Paula. Everybody knows Paula. Paula for a long time with Dunrovin, and I rely on Paula for just an awful lot of things, bookkeeping, but also comic relief. She's always good for a joke and always good for dressing up crazy things. And then on my left is our newest ranch employee, which is Colleen Letty.
Hi, everybody.
She is, there's a blog about her on our website. I hope you'll welcome Colleen. And the first thing I'm going to do with Colleen is walk over and show her where to wave goodnight, where to wave good morning and good night. So this is a special spot. Come with me, Colleen. Okay, yeah. This is where people expect you to wave. All right? And they are on you if you do not. Okay. So right here where people can see you, and the more creative you get with your wave, the better off you are. Every bows, whatever works for you. Okay. Colleen comes to us from Wyoming most recently, but originally from the East Coast.
Yep, originally from Massachusetts.
Right. Yeah. She's a jeweler. She has a degree in anthropology and Southeast Asian studies. And we're very happy that her life and our life kind of came together. We don't know where this is all going to go, but we're having fun doing it.
We sure are, yep.
Yeah, welcome to the ranch.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Now, I also want to reintroduce you to this terrific guy with a very interesting past as well. This is Anthony Greenwater. Did you get on Facebook?
Pardon me?
Did you get on Facebook ever?
Rarely.
Okay. I just did a series of photos of the river, and I called them Greenwater. You know, with all the green of the hills and the green of the leaves, it just turned the whole river green. So
I did read the blog on the colors.
Yeah. So where does the name Greenwater come from, or what nationality is that?
That would take too much explaining.
Take too much explaining. Okay.
We'll just leave it.
Okay, we'll leave it there. That's great. So Anthony has a really interesting past too. You have been in Afghanistan. Is that not correct?
I did spend time at some garden spots here and there.
Yeah, garden spots. Mm-hmm. There's an understatement, huh?
Yeah.
And he goes, and he's a hydrologist. Can you explain to people what a hydrologist does?
Hydrology as a science is everything to do with water. It has, of course, a million practical applications on the engineering side: water supply, water quality, and conservation, of course.
Right. And you worked for some of the agencies in Montana, including up in the Flathead, did you not?
I've been in the Flathead now and then on work, but I spent quite a few years working for the Bureau of Indian Affairs, based farther east in the Midwest, upper Midwest, but also most recently finished out my federal career working for the U.S. EPA out of Chicago.
Okay. Well, there's a saying in the West, for those of you who don't know, that whiskey's for drinking and water's for fighting. Water is a very, very important commodity in the West. This is a semi-arid part of the United States, so water and where it flows, underground, surface water, the whole thing is very important work. Okay, so horsing around. What I'd like to do is take everybody, these wonderful people on the ground here, and you as well, through a progressive horsemanship program that really identifies and looks at what the nature of horses and how we use that nature kind of to our advantage, to partner with them and to, really get a relationship that is mutually. And that's the best possible way to interact with the horse, is to understand its nature and to work with that and really get to the point where you and the horse are one biological entity. It takes a lot of work to get there, but it's so worth it. And so it starts with keeping yourself safe. And if you are safe and you feel confident and you know that you're going to be safe, you bring your own guard down. And there's a couple of things about horses that are really important. One of them is they are prey animals. They have their eyes on the side of their head. They cannot focus on an object. We are predators. Our eyes focus on an object. So prey animals are leery. They live in a vulnerable world. They're leery particularly of any animal that can focus, like us, a predator. So we want to keep that in mind at all times, and the onus for adapting is on us. It's not going to adapt to us. We're going to adapt to the horse. Okay? So all of these things are kept in our minds at all times. So the first thing I'm going to do, though, is start by how to capture a horse and how to put a halter on a horse in a safe way. And I'm a bit of a nerd about this, and in part because one of the things we do at Dunrovin that is not done at most boarding facilities. Most boarding facilities keep their horses apart because they're not really a herd. They are a bunch of individual horses owned by individual people. And some of them are put in a pasture together, but not always, and they don't develop these herd relationships because they aren't commonly together. We have a herd. And so the things I'm showing you now may seem ridiculous in a stall situation, but they aren't when you're out like you were helping us with capturing them in a herd.
I'm thinking this will be a little less of a challenge than the 28 years.
A whole lot less of a challenge. And in two ways, they can't run, but the next time you do that, you're going to be better prepared to do it. You know, just knowing how to do it. And you can see that in a herd situation, once you start focusing on an animal, again, you're becoming a predator. You're after that animal, and they know that. And they're going to run away from you unless you behave in a certain way. And then the other horses get nervous. And when the herd gets nervous, they tend to influence each other's behavior. So part of what I try to do is make sure that if you go to get a horse in a herd, you're safe doing it. And so it starts with proper holding of the halter, all right? So what I teach people to do is put everything in your left hand in the opposite order in which you are going to use it, okay? So the lead is the last thing you're going to use. And the one thing about a lead is you do not want a lead to go around your hand ever. Horses have the fastest reaction time of any mammal, and they can take a finger off by jerking back in no time at all. I have a good friend who in his early 70s, after a whole lifetime of horsemanship, lost 2 fingers in the Bob Marshall Wilderness because of exactly that. It can be deadly. So you never want to put a rope around your hand if that rope is attached to a horse, okay? So the thing of it is you lay the lead rope in your hand. You lay it in loops so that your hand is free, nothing around it, okay? That's the last thing that you're going to use. The second to the last thing that you're going to use is the actual buckle. So you put it in your left hand and you separate it by putting it into your fingers, in between your fingers, okay? The first thing that you're going to use is the strap. So you put it in your hand last, and you separate it from the buckle with your fingers. So now you have the halter all in one hand, and you have your right hand free to maneuver, free to work with. And this is not going to fall around your feet. If you put your hand down, whatever, it's securely in your hand. You'll see people put the ropes around their neck. They'll put, they'll put the halter, go up to the horse with the halter all kind of discombobulated, and they're figuring out how to do it. And that's great if the horse is just standing there, doing nothing, waiting for you to get your act together. But it's not good if you're in a herd and you've got another horse that's going to push your horse. So what I try to do is make sure that you have complete control of the halter until the horse is really caught. And the reason for that is, and I've seen this happen, you get a horse half caught in with another horse as another horse moves it. Now your halter's on the ground where you can trip on it, where the horse can get tangled in it. It becomes a dangerous situation just by having it on the ground. Okay, so everything in your left hand in the opposite order in which we're going to use it. I'm going to demonstrate on Paula, who else, as to how we're going to do this. So come on over here, Paula. There. She doesn't want to be caught. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Paula, number one, to give me her head. And I do that by putting my head up between her ears and pressing or pinching. She brings it down. I take my right hand, I put it over the horse's neck, I grab the strap, and I pull up. And now the halter is exactly in the right position to be put on, okay? So it should be one easy, quick movement. You get the horse, you ask him to give you his head, the strap under with your left hand. Now you've got an arm around the horse, but the horse is still not caught. And this is why I ask you thing in your hand until it is caught. Because if you're out in the field and the lovely lady lands it to your catching that horse and she through, you can step back and there's nothing on the ground. You are safe, the horse is safe, you're good to go, okay? So again, you go to the horse, ask him to put his head down by putting your hand between his ears. You put the strap underneath the horse's head, and now you're ready to put the whole thing up on his nose, and this is where the horse's nose goes. The third strap here goes underneath his chin. The horse's nose goes right here. Okay, I've seen people get this all discombobulated, and that's another reason. By doing this at the rail, you've got it all ready. You know exactly where you're going with this, all right? So let's go practice it. I'm going to take you one at a time to get your horse. I'm going to start with Ant, and I'm going to partner you, Ant, with Mickey. And Mickey's this wonderful black horse. He's a former champion Tennessee walking horse, but he's a horse that has a mind of his own. And so we're going to start with him. I'm going to walk over there. I'm also going to show you something about how to use the gates to your advantage. Whether you open a gate in or out is depending on what you want the horse to do. If you want the horse to come out, you open the gate out. If you want the horse to stay in, you open the gate in. It's either a barrier or an open door. And so think about, and that's true everywhere. If you want horses to move through something, you want to make sure the gate's not in the way, but that also provides you with a safety place. Okay, so let's go and get Mickey, Ant. And the rest of you can watch, all right?
The one thing I learned last time when we were helping the farrier is that it'll help me next time is that I can let Chris chase the ones that are 500 yards away.
Let the young guy do it. Yes. Okay, so this is Mickey. And Mickey's kind of suspicious here. He can tell we've got halters in our hand. Look at how how can you tell? His ears. His ears. Horses.
I'm wondering why we're bringing two halters.
Right, exactly. What's going on here, Mick? Huh? He's not a dumb animal. And so you can see how he's got his ears all perked up. You're kind of looking at us here, you know. And so let's just talk this through. I want you to open the gate in. If he were anxious for whatever reason, he's not right now, he would, if you open the gate out, he thinks you're asking him out. So go ahead and open the gate. Okay. Okay. Now. All right. There are two sides to a horse. Okay. The horse's left side is what's called the near side, and everything is done from the horse's left side. Yes. And this is a good thing to do when you first get to a horse, is stroke him. All right? And then you can put your hand around his neck. Ask him to lower his head. There you go. There you go. There you go. And then if you're going to use the horse for a while, I always buckle it with both straps. I'm going to come in and show you where a halter will go, and I'll do this with all of you individually, okay? There's only a couple things you have to look for, and one of them is the cheekbone. All right, here's the bone right here. So you don't want this a buckle here on his cheekbone, and the other thing is you don't want the strap down his mouth, okay? So you want this to lie between his mouth and his cheekbone, okay? So, at first it'll seem up higher than it actually. So this is not his halter. We need to find all the halters and make sure we've got one for everybody. All right. I would look in the feed shed. I would look in the trucks. I would look in the trailers. You know, it's been all winter since we've been doing this, and so we need to find everybody's appropriate halter. These are old halters. You can tell the, yeah. Okay, now let's just pull it down to make sure that it's in the right spot. There you go. You can see that this is not going to bother his mouth and it's not going to bother his cheekbone, all right? So I'm going to ask you then to take the horse out. Now, let's walk through this again. You're going to open the gate, and you don't want him to follow you out of the gate. You want to get out of the gate, turn, and ask him to come out. He's not, and the reason for doing that is if we do this every time, if he's anxious, he's not going to run over you. If they're anxious for some reason, they will run over you if you allow that to happen. So if we all do it the same way, they know when you open the gate, you're going to turn and ask them to come out. Do you want me to demonstrate, or do you want to just do that? Okay, so let me get out of here first. And so you're going to stop him before he walks over the threshold, all right? Very good, very good. Okay. Okay, very much. I'm going to hold you there. Okay. Now, this is a really important time. I'm going to lead this horse for a moment, and I'm going to show you why it's an important time. This is when the horse makes a transition, being alone and on his own, to being with you, okay, that you are now in charge. And where I ultimately want this horse to stay is right about here. I don't want him any closer to my bubble. And the reason this is important is when you get out on the trail and you have to walk down a tallow slope and you're sliding and the horse is sliding, you want him to use all of his energy to stay off of you. You do not want him on top of you. So it's really important that they understand you have a bubble, okay? So the first thing I do when I get a horse out of his stall is remind it that I have a bubble, all right? Okay, that you stay out of my bubble, all right? And the way I do this is, first of all, hey, come on. And this horse will test you every time, every time he'll test you, okay? So I'm going to walk ahead, and I'm going to stop. Notice I'm going to back up. If he doesn't back up right away, he gets it right between the legs, all right? I'm not mad. I'm just saying, you're in my bubble, buddy. Get out of my bubble, all right? So I walk ahead, and I walk backwards. And he better walk backwards too. I'm not asking him to walk. He's doing it on his own. And so this is reminding him now, I got my bubble and you're not allowed in it, okay? So that's the first thing that I do. And some horses you really have to be so I want him to turn whichever way I'm turning. He stays out of my bubble. And he comes with me on my right shoulder all the time. And you see, I'm not pulling him. He's coming with me. He's coming with me. And if I stop, he better back up or he gets it. And again, this isn't personal. Not personal. Not angry. You never do this in anger. You just, it is what it is. I'm the dominant horse here, and he better stay out of my, he gets it. I don't even look at him. The less you look at him, the better off it is, because it's impersonal, all right? So then the next thing I do is I ask this horse to show me he is fit to ride. And what do I mean by fit to ride? This horse could be standing in here for several days, and I wouldn't know whether he was sick or not. So I ask everybody, before they get a horse to use, that they take a moment just to focus on the horse. Just look at the horse. And the way I ask people to do that is to have the horse do several things that allows me to look at it under a little bit of stress. So the first thing I'm going to do is ask him to turn on his feet. Again, I'm not going to push him or pull him. I'm using energy to move him. He should be able to cross his feet. See how his back feet are crossing? And I'm watching all of those feet as I do this. All right? If a horse is lame or has a stone in its foot, it will show up in turning more than it will walking. The turning is important. Also, if you have any kind of neurological problem in a horse, it always manifests itself first in the hindquarters. And the hindquarters get wobbly, they are unable to cross. So neurological issues almost always show up in the hindquarters. So I do this in both directions. And I watch every foot to make sure that every foot is falling and turning without hesitation. All right? Then I'm going to ask the horse to give me his head. I put my hand right up here, and I ask him to lean back towards me. And I look him in the eye. I look him very closely in the eye. The eyes are the mirrors to their health. If you see any sort of blankness, lack of life, you'll soon get to know what your horse looks like in the eye. And that alerts you to something's wrong with this horse, all right? And the other thing is I want him to stretch in both directions, his neck. So that's why I have him come back. And look, do that. He's accustomed to doing that. So, all right, now you do it. All right? Now, see, he's going to challenge you because you're a new guy, you know? What he did with me, he's not necessarily going to do with you. Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. Yes, for that part, keep it in your right hand and then and do it very definitively. Mm-hmm. This is not asking, this is telling. Bang, get out of my way. And just hit him right between the legs. Okay. Okay, next time, I'm going to tell you, walk 10 steps forward, stop, and walk briskly 10 steps back. Briskly. Don't do it slowly. Back, 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 back. Get him back. Get him out of your way. Get him out of your way. Make him walk fast out of your way. Okay. Watch his feet when you do that. Watch him turn. There you go. Every foot turning. And that tells you there's not a stone. There's no lameness. He's not favoring a foot. And that's what you're looking for. This is kind of your pre-flight check. Plus, it's alerting the horse that you're in charge. So there's a transition. And actually, the transition is for the rider as well. You take on a different persona. You take on your I'm the leader persona, okay?
like making sure they're alert, like they've had their morning coffee. I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't,
Well, there are times when you have to with the horse,
Yeah.
and that's what's interesting. You might have to use a horse when it's ready to eat.
Yeah.
And I'll give you some examples. I was out traveling with a couple, a woman, and we came back to camp, and you learn the hard way everything. And she let her horse off to graze. You should never do this for more than 20 minutes without capturing your horse, because after 20 minutes, they are full enough that boredom sets in, okay? It ran off. And it really ran off. So I got on my horse, and my friend got on Mickey, okay? And we rode all night long looking for that horse in the forest. And I mean, we were going fast. Neither one of those horses wanted to do that, but we would ride up to a ridge and stop. You know, the horses, you look to your horse. They know when another horse is around. They start whinnying. They know, And so we would run to someplace, stop, and wait and listen. Go someplace else, stop, and wait and listen. Ultimately, somebody else found the horse. And it all ended well, but we spent the whole night chasing after a horse that we never did catch. And neither one of the horses, Mickey included, was happy about the situation, but they did it. And, once they understand that you're doing something, it's like people, once they understand that they got a job here to do, they do it, okay? So it's your turn. And no, not yet. Just bring him over here, out of the way. Yep. Okay, I'll do knots after that. Okay, I'll hold him, Aunt, and let's, or maybe Paula can hold him, and I want you to help Colleen. Yeah, just hold it there. Yeah, hold him there. I'll take this one. Thanks. So I want you to critique Colleen. This is the best way to learn. Okay, so Colleen, this is Dugan. Yep. So explain what you're doing while you're doing it, so I know it's deliberate.
Okay.
All right?
So right now I'm going to open the gate inwards because I'm going in and I don't want to invite him out.
Okay.
And I'm going to get his halter on him.
Okay.
Which I've done before, but incorrectly. So if you guys have been watching, I'm glad now that I know what to do properly with this, because I've been putting it in between my legs. I'm sure you've seen that.
Well, sometimes, struggling helps you learn it correctly.
For sure, yeah, and I mean, yeah, for sure. Alrighty. Oh, handsome. You're at my level, so this is the most difficult thing. Okay. I still have this tendency to want to put the rope in between my legs.
Yeah.
Just because that feels...
Right. But you can see why it's not a good spot. If you have to move backwards, it goes to the ground.
Alrighty. In between, it could be one up higher.
So remember, you want the buckle between their cheekbone and yes, that looks good. You never want it. And part of the reason for this is we wear our halters under our bridles when we ride. And again, that's a backcountry thing because you don't ever want to lead a horse for any long distance with a bridle. You want to lead them with a halter because it hurts their mouths to be led with a bridle.
Colleen, put your strap in its keeper. No, your side.
Oh.
Good.
Thank you. Alrighty. Come on. Oh, there's a camera on me. Should be here. Maybe that was weird.
We gotta invite him out.
Come on out.
No, he's right. You got to go back and do that. Take him in. He needs to stop before the threshold.
Okay.
Take him back in. Because, again, this is habit building. What a trainer will tell you is every time you handle a horse, you're training. Every time. And so I want the horses to stop. to automatically know that they have to stop at that threshold when they're with a person, that it's not an option to go out uninvited. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to really do this. Okay, I'm going to really emphasize it. All right, because. Okay, let's just say it was anxious, or for anything, for any reason anxious. I'm going to open the gate, open it out, and I'm going to step by and I'm going to look at him and invite him out. See how he knows me? He did not move. He's not moving towards me at all. And I want him to know you in exactly the same way, that I don't come out of this stall until I'm invited. Moving at all. You see what I'm saying? And let me tell you, they all get to know you personally. I mean, I've had ranch hands that have had a horrible time getting a horse in the trailer, and all I have to do is go up. And, you know, the gig is up. You know, we're not. This is not going anywhere but me going into the trailer. They know exactly, just like they know all their horses, they know all their handlers, every one of them. So the patterns that you set with him are the patterns that are going to stay with him. So I'm going to ask him to come out now. Come on. Okay? Very definitively. And I think if anything, Colleen, you're going to have to amp up your being assertive, okay? Not aggressive, assertive, all right? Just take it for granted that you're the person in charge here. Of this pair, you're in charge, okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Now, Aunt's going to help you do the exercises. And let's go do it by the microphone. You can walk over by the microphone now, and Aunt will tell you how to do it. Huh? Oh, thank you. Okay, the microphone's over here, so let's go over here. Well, come on, Aunt, you can. Okay, and we'll start right here for the turning and everything, so everybody can hear you. Don't look back.
Don't
Okay,
look.
looking is asking. Okay, and you are telling, not asking. See, he's doing good. So he is. Yes, he didn't have to that time. See?
I want to look, but I can't.
I know. Don't look. Back him up.
You don't have to.
Yes, he's doing great. Don't look.
Colleen, he's already backing up. You don't have to slide.
Okay. And then to get him to, I want to face him, right? Keep going.
Now, what's she doing wrong, Anthony?
He's got his head. He's going to aim at his hindquarters more.
Right, you're pulling. You're pulling his head around as you are asking him to move his head. What you want is his hindquarters to move around him, not to move in a circle. So when you pull on the halter, he turns his head. So give lots of rope in between. Now go towards his hindquarters and ask him just to move his hindquarters. See the difference? You see how he's not following you now?
Yeah.
Okay? And he's actually turning on the fours, both the fours and the tines. Okay? Get on the other side, that's right. Now, there you go. Be definitive in terms of what you want. Nope. There you go. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so
And then how did
we're
you-
satisfied with that, but it's time to do his neck exercises.
Yeah, and I'm forgetful of the location of where I should be to have him arch it.
At his shoulder.
Okay.
Bring his head around to you. So let him turn. Bring his head back. Farther back. Step back. There you go. Now bring him through you. Look him in the eye.
But don't let him move his body.
Okay.
If he moves his body, you move your body with him.
Okay.
All right? Move your body with him. Make him turn his head, not his body.
That's hard.
Okay? You're too far from him. You got to get right up next to him. On his shoulder. Put your hand on his shoulder, the highest part, the withers. Put your hand up on his shoulder. Now, shorten your rein between him and you. Okay, put your hand on it there. Now, pull his neck over. There you go. There. Now, two things. He didn't do it willingly. He didn't just move his head over. He gave it to you. I would do it several times until he willingly moves his head over. Okay? Again, move if he moves. And let me show you. Physics are all. Physics in a horse, you've got a three-dimensional object here. Let me show you. I'll have you hold this. And I don't know if you noticed, but you had your hand in a loop. See how you had your hand in a loop? Right there. You had your hand in a loop. You really have to be careful. It has to become second nature to put this in a way in which you don't put. Okay. So let me bring him over here. So I'm going to get really close with a short lead, and I'm going to ask him for his head. I just keep the pressure on until he gives me his head. Just keep it on. Just keep it on. If he moves, I'm going to move. Okay? I'm going to move until he gives me his head and does it willingly. Yeah, see? All right, we're going to go to the other side. Again, I put one hand up on his shoulder. I have it short, and I'm pulling up, not down, up. Okay? So I'm going to ask him to give me his head. He moves, I move. Pressure until he gives me his head. All right. And you can see when he does it willingly.
Yeah.
It's more relaxed. So now I want you to do it on both sides. Remember, pull up. Be very careful about where the lead is in your hand. Shorter yet. Yep, and pull up. Get farther back, Colleen. You need to be farther back. And close. There. Did you feel him give it? No, do it on the other side. I think this is something, Colleen, during the week, I want you to practice getting him in and out and doing this routine and getting him to move his neck.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah. I got him on this side better than that one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Old pro here.
Well, but with a horse I've never worked with.
But the horse you've never worked with. And, all right,
The horse is
Colleen, I'll hold your horse, and you go and work with, again, you have a rope around your hand. Look at that.
Oh,
Yeah, you
So
really
this
have,
is
you
so-
really have, it has to become,
acceptable.
yes, you see,
This is unacceptable.
yes.
Okay.
You can't have any rope that goes around your hand. It absolutely has to lay in your hand, always. It has to become second nature to you. And this is really important because, horses will react like that, just like that. There goes your hand, all right? All right, so let's go over here, and then and you go over with Paula,
Okay.
all right? And I'll walk over so everybody can hear. Why don't you come back over here, Paula, when you're ready to do this?
Sure.
So people can hear.
Suzanne, you want us to just wait here, or what are we doing? Suzanne?
You can practice with him. Go ahead and practice. Okay. 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 So, I want to hear from Colleen about what to do. She's going to tell you, see. Paula knows this. But
So Paul, you're going to want to open the gate in towards Garnet. Okay. And then I'd go ahead and, shut up, that's what we're doing. And so then with your right hand, I would take that and then go underneath. And then kind of pull it over up to the...
You can see what happened there. That's not right.
That's not right.
No, why is that not right?
Well, so start, you started at first with that right hand.
The strap should be in your...
Strap should be in your left hand. Then with that right hand, take it and
Right.
touch in between his ears. Put like kind of bow it down. Yeah. And then from there, move your left hand underneath.
Yes. See, now you have the horse.
Okay.
Do you see the problem with that throwing the strap up over?
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's a good way to lose a horse. You're throwing something, you have no control over that strap.
Mm-hmm.
You're letting loose of something.
And also when you do that, sometimes like the buckle or like the metal bits can like hit them, you know?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
weird. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. And then from there, so you want to be in front. Make sure he stops. So that he's not going to join you. Have him stop. And then maybe you can face him.
Okay, Paula, this is a horse that wants to be pushy. So this is a training opportunity. You keep that horse stay. I'm going to count to 40. And that horse is going to stand and look at you for 40 seconds. Okay? And we're not going to go until that horse is relaxed with you being on one side and him being on the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Go in and walk him around and come back. This is a horse that needs this. And cut out for you. Training number 1, Paula, whenever you come out here, you get Garnet and make him stand right there. Okay. You see how more relaxed he is about it now than he was a minute ago?
Yeah, it's far less pushy.
Huh?
Far less pushy.
Lot less pushy. Okay, I want you to back up without taking the horse. Let out a little more from the lead line. You back up, but don't let the horse come with you. Yep, back up, but don't let him come with you. This is a horse that wants, This horse was owned by an 8-year-old girl, okay? And she let this horse walk all over her, all right? And then you can see where this could be a dangerous thing if this horse wanted out for whatever reason. Training is what keeps you safe. And if the horse knows automatically to stop. I have a trainer, my favorite trainer, when he teaches a horse to stop, he teaches it to back up an undetermined number of steps at the same time. So from the get-go, the horse doesn't just stop. It is prepared to back up. So that means its weight shifts from this angle to this angle. And that horse is so programmed, when you stop that horse, and you'll see this with Mystery, because Mystery was trained by this in this way, he has a perfect stop, because it's not just stop, it's back up. Okay, much better. So, very good. Next time you come, Paula, get with this horse and do this. All right, let's go over here, and I want you to help Paula do the exercises in front of the microphone here.
Steps forward and then a couple of abrupt steps back, and so he doesn't kind of go within your bubble.
Right. Sure.
Now let's see if he can cross his legs, and if he seems pretty wicked and alert. Maybe you have to get like
Good boy. Good boy. There's a good boy.
Putting his neck back. Look at it. And yeah, he needs to work.
Good boy. Good boy. Let's try that again.
Yeah,
Good boy. How does easy it look? When they don't know what to do. Sure. Or when I don't know what to do. Well, he clearly has issues with people on his side. So this is really good for him. So I'm just going to ask him to let me be on his side for a minute. Okay. Break the whole thing down into small components, all right? And then notice how I bring his up like this. And if he moves, I'm going to move with him. Okay. And he gives me his hand. His head. Oh, so you don't mind if he moves too? Yeah, see? See? You don't move up? And I stayed with him right here. I was focusing on making him stand still. No, don't focus on getting his head. And he has to recognize that you're not going to leave where you are. Right. You're going to stay with that the whole time. And give yourself very little rein between, yeah, okay. And here's my trick, is I hold most of the rein up here, and then I pull up. Okay. All right? And that way you can put your hand wherever you need it. Right. To have a little more adjustment. Just stay with him. If he moves back, you move back. Right, there you go. Pull his head up. That's much better. It's much better. Move with him. Move with him. Move with him. Keep the pressure there.
Good boy.
See?
Good boy.
Okay? You're building a box. The only way he's going to get a release, and by the way, all horse conversations are pressure release. Everyone. You apply pressure and the horse looks for the release. And the release is the reward. And so part of this is timing, to give the release when you need it, and to not give it until you get what you want. Okay? Stay with him. There.
Good.
See? Okay. I want you to trade horses. All right. You're going to take Mickey. All right. Aunt's going to take Dugan. And you are going to take Garnet. All right? Okay. You're going to follow me. This is Mother May I. All right? All right. So we're going to start with Aunt. So the other two of you back up out of the area. I want him in front of the microphone here. Only Aunt. All right? All right. See, now look at this. Is a bullish horse here. Okay. So, Aunt, I want you to take forward, stop, and don't do anything.
Okay.
Now I want you to back up, and that horse should stay out of your way. And if he doesn't, you're going to bonk him without looking. Hit him hard. Okay, take 6 more steps and stop. Okay, 4 steps forward and then 4 quick steps back, automatically. See, he gets better every time. Okay, now go in a different direction. Come towards me. 6 steps forward, 6 steps back. Really fast. Step. See how he's catching on? Catching on. Okay, I would like you to stretch his both sides. There you go. Okay, this horse needs work on this. Okay, come 5 more steps this way and start again on the other side. Stop and let him stand for a minute. This is where this horse needs work, Paula. Yeah. Okay. Turn his head on the other side? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All right, you can go off and practice with this horse. The more practice this horse gets, the better he is. Okay? You go off this way. Let's have you come with Mickey. Okay? Come on, Paula. Did you end up with the same horse? Yeah. Okay, let's switch them. Yep, sorry. Okay. All right. Take 10 steps forward, stop. Don't look down. Always look up. Always look where you're going. Stop. Back up. Get him out of your way. Hit him. Hit him hard. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Hit him. Hit him again. All right. 6 steps forward. 6 steps back. Go around the microphone, all the way around with him on your shoulder, and then turn him and go the other way. Go around the microphone. Just have him follow you. Eyes up where you're going. Eyes always where you're going, not on the ground. Stop. Back up. Now turn them the other way. Turn towards me. Yes. Go around the microphone. That way. Okay. Come on over here and turn him both ways on the on his feet. Careful how you use your rope. Okay. All right. Have him give your head both sides. He's a pro at that.
He is.
He knows what to do.
Making my job easy.
Yeah, he's been through this drill a few times.
Okay.
Now remember, when you do that, why are you doing this?
We're doing that to check his eyes. His eyes are the most indicative of
And to stretch him.
what's going on, and to give him a good stretch.
Right. So be sure you do that. Be sure you look in his eye when you do that. Okay. All right, you go practice with Mickey for a few times. Let's have Paula with Dugan. Very nice, Paula.
But I was looking.
Yeah. Eyes up, always. Always look where you're going. I'd have more lead between him and you. Remember, pretend that you're out in the back country and you're
I'm headed somewhere.
you're headed somewhere.
Sam, you have a question?
Yes.
I was wondering whether Mickey was trained by Brandon Carpenter.
No. He was not.
Get that, James?
Yeah. He was not trained by Brandon Carpenter. The question was Mickey trained by Brandon Carpenter? No. He was trained by a guy named Con Ovnik. And those of you who have been with me for a very long time, Con was one of the best horse trainers I've ever met. He lived in Spokane, and he came to Missoula 2 weeks out of every month. And you may remember him giving lessons in the arena, and he would always give you such praise. You wanted to do good for Con. Con was very good. And I don't remember who started me on these routines. I think I might have been, this might have been my own kind of invention, merely because of the number of horse handlers that we have. I wanted, I always handled a horse in a consistent way, and I wanted to be sure that everybody was handling that horse in a consistent way, because everybody relaxes then. Thank you for the question. Mickey, by the way, is getting quite old. He's a really good horse. He's, okay.
Pretty good. Not like a full stretch.
It's the angle, Paula.
Okay.
Let me help you here in a minute. Let me get rid of this.
Good boy.
Let's do it on this side so people can see. Okay, let me get him over here. I want to. Right, come here. Come on. Okay, here, come on. There you go. Okay. First, I'm going to just stand here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm him.
Oh. Okay.
And I stay in this position. I just stay right here.
He's thinking.
He is. He's thinking. Good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy. So part of it is not to move your angle, just to
Right.
stick with it.
Right.
It's a constant force,
Right.
okay? Don't get worried, just move with him. See, he's catching on. He's catching on. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Yeah. Okay. Our time is up, so I'm going to have everybody put their horses back. All right? And
Switch back.
get back to your own horse. For one reason, I want you to figure out, and at the end of this, I want you to tell me what you're going to work on the next time you come with your horse. What are the things you need to pay attention to just in this first little lesson, okay? So let's start with you, Paula. I'd like you to take Garnet into the stall, and you're going to open the gate in because you want him to go in. Now, this horse has a problem with thresholds, right? Mm-hmm. So is this an opportunity to practice?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. You don't want him barging over you to get into that stall. So you're going to do the same thing that you did going out. You're going to invite him in, okay? Now, I don't know. I'm not always a stickler on this for horses because normally it's just, I just walk in. But with this horse, because he has an issue with thresholds and he wants to push on you, I would take every opportunity to train this horse that you have a bubble, and that you're the one who gets to tell him when he's going to move, okay? So let's have you do that. Back him up. Say back and back him up. There. Now, wait a minute or two. Do the same thing I did before, where you walk backwards and let the lead out so you're not pulling him. Just walk backwards into the stall and make him stay there. Keep going, a little farther. Don't ask. Just do it. Just do it quietly now and see if he'll stay. Okay, very good. All right. Now the first thing you're going to do with the horse in there is close the gate, and you're going to put yourself between the horse and the gate. All right. And then you put the halter off, basically in the same way you did putting it on. You want that halter back into one hand so that you have a free hand to do everything else, and you're not going to drop the halter. All right? Exit. Or exit out. Mm-hmm. All right. Very good. All right, Aunt. And you're leading, if you want to practice the backing up thing, do it. Anytime with that horse. That horse is a very pushy horse. See, in fact, he was thinking, oh boy, I get to go home, and this would be a really good time for me to push my limits. So go, take him back. If he's pushing you, you just keep doing it until he's not. and then you let him in. We've got an intruder osprey flying over here. I would make him back up right at the gate. He's Mr. Anxious. Right ahead of us. Right over here. Yeah, here comes Swoop now, huh? Now we got two of them up here. Which is which? Very distracting working out here with these ospreys, you know? You got too many fun things going on here. Yeah. Okay. I got to keep my eyes on Ant. Very good, Ant. Very good. Okay, Colleen, you can start with Dugan. Okay. James, if you want to move the ranch camera so people can see the action at the nest, that's fine. We're done here. Thank you all for joining us. I'm going to leave you with the ospreys. This was fun. Thank you, and come back next week.
Yeah.
Here's the wave. Thank you, everyone. Okay.